I returned a stranger's wallet with $2,000 in it. He thanked me, shook my hand, and then called the police on me. I do delivery work. On a good week, I clear maybe $800. I found the wallet on the sidewalk outside a dry cleaner, just sitting there like someone set it down and forgot it existed. I opened it looking for an ID and found $2,000 bills, $2,000. I drove to the address on the license. Guy answered the door in a bathrobe. His name was Gerald. He counted every bill right there in the doorway. Shook my hand so hard I felt it in my shoulder. Not enough people like you left, he said. I drove home, paid my phone bill. Didn't think about Gerald again until 2 days later when 2 cops showed up at my door and told me he was saying I stole from him. The officer said Gerald was claiming the bills I returned were counterfeit. I told him that wasn't possible. He said Gerald had his wife as a witness and was prepared to press charges. They left and told me to expect a follow-up. I sat in my apartment running through every second of that doorstep interaction. Gerald in his bathrobe, counting every bill, the handshake. Nothing felt off in the moment. But the more I thought about it, the more something didn't add up. Why would a man count his own money in front of me unless he wanted me to see him do it? And then it clicked. He wasn't counting to verify. He was counting to switch. I went to my car and pulled up my dash cam. The company I contract with requires a dual-facing camera for liability. One pointed at the road and one pointed back at the driver. I watched myself find the wallet, open it, flip through the bills, and drive straight to Gerald's house. No stops. Real bills. The whole 2,000. On camera. Gerald had swapped them after I left, and I had the footage to prove it. I sent the footage to the detective that night. He called me back 2 days later and told me the charges were dropped. I asked him what happened. He said once they looked at the footage, they started pulling Gerald's history and found he had done this before. Same setup every time. Someone returns something. Gerald says something is missing or damaged. Files a claim. Collects the money. 3 times in 2 years. His wife's statement fell apart the moment the detective showed her the footage. Turns out she wasn't actually in the doorway when I was there. She had no idea what her husband had been doing. When they got a warrant and searched the house, they found counterfeit bills, a stack of paperwork on open insurance claims, and receipts that didn't check out. Gerald had been running this for a while. I just happened to be the first person who could prove it. The detective told me Gerald was facing multiple fraud charges. I went back to work the next day. Same route, same 60 miles. I never heard from Gerald directly. I heard through the detective that he took a plea deal, lost his house in the process. I thought about what he said to me in that doorway. Not enough people like you left. He was right about that, just not in the way he meant.